Good evening, Rando fans. My name is Etienne. I'm joined today by Relkin. How are you doing, Relkin?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Fantastic. We got a Game 1 match between GFE 12 and SailorNep. This is the first match of the Group A losers bracket. GFE going down 2-0 to Yagamoth, and SailorNep going down 2-1 to Humbug. So they are playing for their tournament life. The loser of this best of 3 series will be eliminated from the tournament. So the stakes are a little bit higher this week.
Yep, we're that far into the group stage now where people are starting to say bye-bye.
So with that on the line, you think we're going to see any differences in how these players are going to approach the game, or do you think they're just going to play their sort of normal game?
It's probably going to be 50-50. I feel like there's going to be some routineness, but there also may be some random noping outs, some random skips. I don't know. But probably very logical ones.
Yeah, and I mean, these are two very experienced runners. They're both very talented, and it tells you a lot about the quality of this tournament that these two are in the losers bracket. So this is going to be a really exciting match, and we are getting underway right off the bat. Finding a blue boomerang on GFE's side there in Link's house, and just a map in Sanctuary. GFE starting with the Uncle route, SailorNep doing the Sank to CAC, and we see that was 2 pendants in the Light World. I think that was a green pendant at Desert and a regular pendant at Hera.
I honestly missed it, so I'll trust your judgment.
Some bombs off the Uncle, not too bad.
Yep. Nap dropping into the hideout for some useless arrows, and we'll be checking the mushroom spot in a second.
I'd pick up those arrows just for the splash, Jilly.
Without a bow, though, how are you going to shoot them? We'll see, though.
Well, there might be a bow and CAC.
You know.
Nap finding a heart container in the mushroom spot of the Lost Woods. GFE getting more bombs from the tree pole. Didn't even notice that there was bombs, but he's got enough actually to head into escape here.
Oh wow!
SailorNep finding bombs. Yeah. So bombs galore to start.
Honestly, going into front of escape with bombs happens more often than we like to admit. So.
Yeah, doing this escape part with bombs, if you play standard mode, this is something you've practiced quite a bit, and it looks like GFE has a pretty solid strat down. 2 bombs to kill that first guard. Finding the Ether Medallion in the map chest as SailorNep heads into the well.
A little bit interesting, walking by blind sets. Usually you see runners go straight in blind set and then to the well, but Nep choosing to head to the well first.
And there is half magic and another heart container.
That's those arrows. It was okay, alright?
GFE using some really nice bomb strats there. Able to get through with the minimum of 5 bombs. And what we got in blind set, there's a 300. Those are always nice to find early. Just a heart piece in the back of the well, or blind set rather. So pretty dry Kakariko so far. And there's a heart container in Zelda cell.
Alright, so where was that ether specifically?
That was in the map chest.
Okay, so that didn't require anything to go get, but it's something.
Yep, could be required. Bottle Vendor has our other boomerang today.
The more valuable boomerang as it stands now, since we have Ancilla glitches. And yeah, Desert is a green pendant, Terra is a regular pendant, Eastern was a red crystal.
And before we get too further in here, I do want to take a moment to shout out to our tracker, Draco Falcone. Doing a great job so far. And that looks like Small Magic was the tier 2 pull. Doesn't really matter too much now that we have half magic anyway. And Jiffy actually going to go up and check a Lumberjack here. And just bombs. And Library, just 10 arrows.
Alright, is Nep going to? Yes, she is going to gamble on race game.
Yeah, I can understand this. We found basically nothing so far, except for that Ether Medallion, so better chance than usual that we'll find something here. And we do, it's a hammer.
Nicely done.
Alright, so pretty much nothing except for that hammer out of Kakariko.
Yeah, only other thing to speak of would be that red boomerang, which could help with some shenanigans, but that is minimal to say the least.
Alright, GFE now heading over to Kakariko, and SailorNep checking out the South Shore now. Single rupee in the floodgate chest.
Alright, since it's this early, how do you think either runner will feel about going to Eastern early? I'm not sure. It's a crystal, so it is less likely that they would be inclined to head inside. But it is certainly a possibility.
Well, we found so little. I mean, we don't really have a whole lot of options left. SailorNep is going to go check the desert area. There's our other green ruby sitting on the desert ledge.
That did not take long.
And just 20 bucks at a Gina. So desert play not really paying off for Nep, but a big deal.
Maybe Nep was feeling that she had some room to give with that race game gamble.
Yeah. Sometimes you're also just hoping for a bit of extra cash from a Gina or something before you make your way to the Zor area. We do still have many Moldorm caves, so 5 checks there. And the way things are going, this cave has got to be stacked, right?
Sure, we'll go with yes for now. Yet to be seen. Nep does need to be careful in here. Yeah, I maybe spoke a little too soon. Oh, goodness. Having the hammer does not help too much in here.
Oh, there's an 8 bomb drop. She's got to hope she can get that in time before it disappears.
That boomerang.
Ooh.
Oh, but those boots help so much. Okay, well.
Okay, not a whole lot out of that cave, except for the boots.
Yeah, that cave wasn't that important, I don't think. Right? I don't know if we've seen a stun prize yet.
I don't think so. We got lots of money though, and lots of bombs, so stun prize probably not a big deal.
GFE is heading towards Eastern. They're going to be missing out on those boots for a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unusual play. Did you see what was on the island there?
Looked like bombs.
Okay. Ooh, and a glove at Ice Rod Cave.
Man, South Shore was the thing to do. And as expected, Nep is setting up that water walk in Ice Rod Cave, going to be most likely heading to check out the Zora Ledge item, as well as taking a dive into Waterfall Cave, and then heading to Hobo to finish out the sequence. Oh, wait. Maybe not?
Oh, she's okay. She started a water walk, and she's now setting up a fake flipper. So she'll be able to check Hobo and then water walk over to the Waterfall Cave. And by the way, GFE found the Moon Pearl there at Sasha's closet.
That is okay. At least they are not heading into Eastern because we have Darkhold access between the two runners.
Yep.
Okay. I was wondering why Nep was setting up the water walk as such, but she just opted to go straight to Hobo and then make their final checks in the Zora's domain area.
Yeah, she won't be able to get Zora, not enough money. She could have farmed a little bit from that cave by Ice Rod, but that just takes so long for one check. I can understand why she opted not to do that. We do get a bottle with a fairy in it from the Waterfall Cave. And Zora's Ledge is just a heart piece, so the unfortunate part of this routing for Nep is Zora gets isolated a bit, but there's always a chance to loop that in with Catfish later on. Nep now heading towards back of escape as GFE makes his way into Mini Moldorm Cave for those boots. And oh, that money comes just a minute too late for Nep. Does get a key in the back, but not going to do Dark Cross just yet. And Nep gonna head up to Bonk Rocks here and probably check Lumberjack as well. Could even potentially go up and save the old man out of logic. There's those gloves for GFE.
At this point, you can imagine Nep will be heading over to Eastern and they will snag their Moon Pearl. And I guess it'll be seen whether she decides to go in Eastern or not.
Yeah, it looks like she is going to go save the old man first. Probably just save him quick from there. Although could run up and check Spectacle Rock Cave. GFE also grabbing that bottle out of Waterfall Ferry and will also be a bit short of Zora Cash.
Seems like no matter which way you spin it, you're going to get that glove in Ice Rod Cave. but you will not have the funds because the money is in the back of the skip.
Yeah. GFE being very careful not to take a hit here. That would get him stuck, and he wouldn't be able to continue on to Hobo. And Nep is going to run up and check Spec Rock Cave here. And just bombs inside, so GFE now with Dark World access. Nep just has to run over to Sahasvila for that. Moon Pearl. Except Nep's actually first going to go to Escape. So we'll get that Ether Medallion, which could be important anyway.
So in terms of things that they have both done, they're basically retracing each other's steps in this instance. Neither has ventured into the Dark World yet. Of course, GFE the only one that can go, but Nep will eventually get there.
Yeah, the one big difference right now between these runners is that Agina check from Nep, that didn't pay off. So Nep will be a little bit behind getting to the Dark World. But on the other hand, Nep did get those boots earlier, so saved a little bit of time in overworld traversal. GFE is going to go for Dark Cross here, it looks like. Really only the boomerang to use for getting through these dark rooms, so this is a bit tricky. There's that Ether Medallion for Nep. And just a blue ruby and a dark cross. So nothing much there, but it's always nice to not orphan a location when you don't have to. And Nep, nice little heads up play, realizing that she does not need to pick up that small key, so saves a couple seconds there. Alright, GFE gonna check Bonk Rocks, and we'll see if he heads over. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna head over and go through the Village of Outcast portal, so not a lot of runners like to start with Hype Cave here, but GFE taking a different strat. Nep remembering to release that fairy so that she can Death Warp. Oh right, GFE has Sick Kid to check here too.
So, for anyone that didn't know, did you know that you can actually dash into these doors like the same way you do a key dash? It's the same principle, using 4 pixels apart in increments of 4 pixels. You can actually dash into the door without bonking. But never mind that, we have the Bombus Medallion.
Yeah, Sick Kid paying out with some coin.
Alright, so for everyone that's paying attention out there, we know that the Bombos Medallion cannot lock the flippers. And that is only applicable to Mire and Turtle Rock because Ice is flipper locked anyways, so that will not matter.
Yeah, well,
excuse me, what am I saying now? That's only one bottle.
Yeah, it depends on where we find our other bottles. Here's our Dark Map check. We do have Pendant at Swamp, and I believe the other 5-6 was Turtle Rock. And GFB dipping straight into Skull Woods. A lot of runners like to put off the front of Skull Woods, waiting for Fire Rod and Sword, but right now GFB has neither. So figures I might as well do it now because I might not be coming back here for a while. And our first item there is a heart piece. And SailorNep will get that moon pearl, and she's out of there, not going to continue on into Eastern without a bow.
To be fair, no one really does want to do that to begin with.
And there's our second item out of school. It's just a blue rupee, so nothing going to be in the back.
So, those that don't know about V31's changes to the logic, advanced logic makes it so there's not always a key here. So GFE has one shot here, and he's lucky enough to not be just save and quit.
Yeah, SailorNet, meanwhile, starting off with Hype Cave.
I would like to say that in one of my matches recently, I was not so fortunate to be able to be bailed out.
Yeah, you can always avoid that by making sure to check the big key, the two accessible chests first. And Hype Cave giving us another bottle, so that puts that Bumbles into logic, and not much else, just a bunch of money. And we do see indeed the Turtle Rock is the 5/6 crystal. So Swamp Palace being a pendant is interesting because we don't have the hook shot, and I'm pretty sure both these runners can hover, so we may not see the hook shot at all this seed. That's a possibility.
If we see that mirror, then yes, we can start thinking about that possibility.
And GFE finds a Book of Medora inside Brewery. So that will give us access to Desert, not completable without a fire source though. Oh, apparently we missed, there was a Cane of Samaria on Bumper Ledge. I did not see that. Thank you, Chet.
Yeah, so it looks like we will need to be finding that cape, that magic cape is somewhere necessary today.
Alright, GFE now heading into Thieves Town, no sword, so if we don't find one here, we could be seeing a hammer blind. Hammer blind is a pretty tricky fight. We got 8 hearts, so it's not the worst ever, but definitely not a free fight at all.
A hammer blind? Do you mean like we're hunting hammers or something?
What?
You know what a duck blind is?
No?
You must not be a hunter.
No.
That's okay, I'm sure one of our jokes won't fall flat between the two of us.
Alright, Nep is not going to go into Skullwoods. And presumably not going to check that Bumper Ledge, so won't have the information of the cane being there.
I do feel like it's just a routing choice, like potentially waiting on something like the mirror or the flippers / bow in case they wanted to head over to pod / graveyard ledge. So I can understand not wanting to go there right away.
Yeah, it's definitely it's one of those things where it's a small routing decision, but it can have big consequences. So we'll see how things play out. But right now, you know, having that information, it is a bit of an advantage for GFE right now. Alright, Nep also heading into Thieves Town. just a compass in the attic. So still 3 items remaining in the back here.
GFE heading to the big chest first. I don't usually see this.
Yeah, normal routing is to get the maiden first and then come over to the big chest. It doesn't really make a huge difference either way, though. Just a heart piece there, so 1 item still on blind.
If I'm not mistaken, did that bottle have a fairy in it that was in the waterfall cave?
Yeah. Yeah, I think GFE still has that. But SailorNep released that fairy to Death Warp in Hyrule Castle. And GFE wanted to test out the stun prize, but boomerangs don't stun the skeletons. Alright, here we go. Hammer blind.
GFE taking his time here with this fight. I do not blame him. He probably wants to ensure that he has no trouble finishing this fight off. He's 2 hits away.
Yeah, well done. Took a few hits there, but not a big deal with the fairy. And there's a sword on blind, of course.
Oh, game's fun, right?
Yeah. So we're kind of starting to run out of stuff that's in logic. GF's gonna head and do the South Dark World area, which Nep already did. Ooh,
Oh,
Nep
you know
getting
what? Yeah, you were gonna say about what I think you're gonna say about the whole heart refill.
Yeah, very timely there.
Yeah, Nep is definitely taking their sweet time, trying to avoid at all possible, any damage that's unnecessary before this blind fight.
Yeah. So let's think for a minute though, like where else do we have to go? I guess we can go into desert, but that's not very appealing with no fire source.
Right, we still have not visited Eastern. Pod is open to us, and Catfish and the Pyramid have not been checked either.
Yeah, so we do have a few things.
Alright, Nep is on to phase 3 now, just needs 3 more hits, and they're good to go.
And that's 2 hammer blind fights. Very well done by both of them.
It's a nice little weight off each runner's shoulders, having done hammer blind without dying.
It looks like GV now gonna head over, probably gonna check Pyramid, and then has a choice of either Catfish or Pod. And nothing on the Pyramid ledge. Looks like SailorNep is heading up towards Schoolwoods now. And Jiffy is going to make his way towards Catfish.
Yeah, so as far as we know, after this check, it is down to Pod and Eastern. Skiffy barely missing the window to throw in that rock.
Alright, nothing on Catfish. Looks like GFE is not saving quitting, so might take a dip into Pod here.
Like the use of the Wall Master there from Nep's side, and getting back to the beginning of the dungeon faster. I like what GFE is thinking here. They are grabbing a potion before they head into Pod.
Yeah, that'll allow him to use a potion glitch to get past the requirement for the bow in case Pod is bow locked. Yep, meanwhile, starting at Sanctuary, maybe headed to Sick Kid here, I guess. And I don't think Nep checked Bumper Ledge.
No, they did not. You're correct.
So, that is a pretty isolated location right now. One thing that might bring her back there is that mirror, like you said, to route in with Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. GP, meanwhile, heading into Pod, and SailorNep picking up a potion as well. So maybe also thinking about Pod. And first chest, Titan's Mid. And GP was considering there just noping out, but decides to continue on. So everything else in here is locked behind the bow logically, but we are going to see a potion glitch.
Yeah, I do appreciate the attempt to gain some information here. And looks like Nep is actually going to head to Desert. She wants to pursue this book that they found in the brewery. They do not have a fire source, but she's going anyway.
Yeah, I mean, can't blame her. There's really not very many good options at this point. But she certainly wouldn't be going here if she knew the Titans Mitts were just sitting there in Pod. Although that being said, those Titans Mitts don't really open up a whole lot logically. Pretty much just the Smith Chain and King's Tomb.
Okay, mark that down for one item in Desert already with that piece of heart on the torch.
Okay, there's the big key. So Nep really hoping for something in this big chest. Oh, there's the hook shot for GFE. That is bow locked.
That's some major information right there for right now.
And Desert Palace a bust for SailorNep. And Nep actually opting to head into Eastern Palace before Pod. Interesting play.
Yeah, Chad is pointing out that Nep is probably going to head into Pod after doing Eastern, assuming that she does not find anything like a bomb.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh!
Alright, that is a huge find for Nep. So that hook shot is now in logic, for us anyway.
Yeah, TFE, I do not know how much they feel about going to Eastern right now, because I highly doubt it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think he's far more likely to follow that hook shot and head to Death Mountain. But at the same time, GFE knows there has to be a bow available. Oh, and an ice rod in the big chest, so Pod absolutely stacked. Finding Titan's Mitt, Hookshot, and Ice Rod in Pod. So the good thing for Nep is that she will be able to full clear Pod on her first dip. GP now gonna check King's Tomb.
One thing we did not catch is somewhere in the dark, GFE got another sword.
Oh wow. Pod super stacked today. So that sword, in addition to being a great weapon, is also going to give GFE access to that ether tablet. And SailorNep now going to head for Armless Knights. There is an item on the Armless Knights.
They do successfully make their way into the next room, so the scary part of the back of Eastern is over.
Yeah, that room can go wrong pretty quickly if you can't see anything. And it looks like GFE, I guess is gonna. Oh, he may have. I'm not sure how he plans to do Spike Cave here. Does he have another red?
He did not release his fairy, I'm fairly certain.
Okay, I think he should be able to get through, but it's going to be kind of tight. Meanwhile, SailorNep claiming that second crystal out of Eastern Palace. Okay, GFE is fine here, yeah. And just 10 arrows for his trouble.
I can get by with going to Spike Cave first. I sometimes would like to do that before I head over to the rest of the mountain, just in case something important is there before I would want to go to something like Turtle Rock. It just feels really bad having to go afterwards and be like, oh, Firewall was here the whole time or something.
Yeah, for sure. Spike Cave's one of the most annoying locations in the game, and sometimes, you know, I can't blame someone for just wanting to get it out of the way right off the bat. But we are going to see now Paradox Cave, well, all of East Death Mountain. So a lot of new checks here. Oh, there's that cape. So that is going to give us access to the Cane of Samaria on Bumper Ledge. And potentially even Turtle Rock access. I got a fire shield, a mushroom, and not much else.
I'm probably going to go ahead and put the call in that we're going to find either the lamp or the flute up here.
Ooh, GFE missing that bomb jump. SailorNep, meanwhile, picking up her Titan's mitts out of the first chest in pod. And yeah, as Chad's discussing, Death Mountain is not in logic. We've not found the flute or the lamp. We need at least one of those to logically get up Death Mountain. And at this point, it pretty much has to be Zora. I'm trying to think of anywhere else that's still in logic.
I think the Smith chain is in logic. We have.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Hammer peg.
Smith chain and hammer pegs. There's still not a lot of locations, though. Jiffy checking out the ether tablet now. And we got a shovel, so more fetch quests. Now, is going to go into Tower of Hera. Now, this is a pendant. So, we'll see if GP decides to full clear this. Hey, there's a Quake medallion, so that's all our medallions.
Nice to not have to worry about what we need to enter Mire or Turtle Rock.
And we do get a big key on the first floor. And Jiffy looks to be setting up a hair pot. I think he was trying. Oh yeah, he's going to try the spin speed or the hook speed method here.
Yeah, if I had boots, that's the method I'd go for. Typically, he's trying to do it unbuffered, this madman.
Yeah, I haven't practiced this method myself, but yeah, Jiffy gets it pretty quickly. First item in here, just 20 rupees. And what? And GFE decides to nope out after doing the hair pot. Was that both items, actually? You might have seen both items already. That's right, we had Quake in the basement. What am I talking about? Okay, so that's both items at a Hera.
Yeah, GFE likely going to do Spike Cave right now and then head into the Dark World on Death Mountain.
Ooh, we get a sword out of Spiral Cave, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, someone in chat asking about what that hook speed clip in Hera was. Sabatender, that was. You can use the speed of your hook dash / spin speed, whatever you want to call it, to clip into the pot at a certain angle. And then after that, you can just finish up the Hera pot. But the interesting thing about that is that you actually have to press left and then up instead of holding up right if you had no spin speed. You will be soft locked if you do not do left then up.
Alright, SailorNep getting that ice rod, gonna use a bunch of bombs to blow herself up. We do see ether is the requirement for Turtle Rock.
So it turns out that front of escape ether medallion was required.
Alright, here's our first look at Hookshot Cave. And a fire rod.
This game is mean. I like to point that out. We got the cave up here, which means we had to come back later.
Yeah, GP also finding blue mail and a bug net. So, what are we still looking for? We need the flute. And I think that's it.
Yeah, flute is the only logical item that we still need to beat this seed. We're approaching go mode pretty quickly.
Now, so the thing about this is each runner has a couple of, or has at least one item the other runner has skipped. SailorNep has that bow out of the front of Eastern. And GFE has that Cane of Samaria now. Well, will have that Cane of Samaria. Which is on Bumper Ledge. And SailorNep skipped checking that. Now the good thing is for SailorNep, the fire rod is accessible right there on Death Mountain, so she'll probably check Bumper Ledge after doing Skull Woods. Oh, we have a vanilla
real.
And just like that, we're in no mode.
Now the question becomes, when does GFE make the trip over to Eastern? Or will there be another bow available that will just swing GFE into go mode?
Yeah, that's a big question. So for SailorNep, we know she'll probably head to the mountain after Pod and get all those goodies that are up there. But the big question for her is, will she check Bumper Ledge anytime soon? Or will she just run into Skull Woods and save and quit from there? And that could be a big disaster for her.
Someone in chat asking about the flippers. Well, if you take a look at what our crystals and pendants are, you'll see that swamp is a pendant. Ice is a crystal, yes, but we have things like fake flippers that we can do.
Yeah, Zelda pointing out, GFE knows there is a bow that locks that hook shot. So that actually really narrows down where he can look for it. And GFE heading straight for that Cane of Samaria. As SailorNep grabs the crystal out of Pod.
I do believe we did find that shovel up on the mountain, correct?
Yes.
So that has to mean that there is a lamp in the Smith chain, Hammer Pegs, or Zora.
Yeah, so I think it's unlikely we're gonna see the lamp today, but who knows?
GFE probably has that on his mind since he knows that the mitts are the only thing he currently has that is in logic. Oh yeah, thank you, Incoherent. We also forgot about King's Tomb.
Alright, SailorNep running up to check Pyramid Ledge and probably Catfish and getting up the hook shot, maybe just using us for hook speed. Jiffy now heading into Schoolwoods.
Yeah, he got both items out of here already, so he's just going to finish off Moth. And if he's doing the thinking correctly here about the logic, he will head to Smith Chain after this, most likely.
Yeah, that would be the most sensible play for him to make.
Alright, SailorNep is actually going to go ahead and give us our look at King's Tomb to see if there's a lamp here.
I believe GFE already did King's Tomb. And GFE almost save and quit before picking up the crystal. Alright, Nep onto the mountain now. GFE's not actually going to do Smith Chain. In fact, it might actually be faster to just flute back to the portal and do Smith Chain from there rather than running the whole way through Schoolwoods.
That makes sense. No mirror. This definitely makes that more of a chore.
GP first heading to Desert. Oh yeah, Desert actually is in logic for him, so it makes sense to check here. Actually going to check Agina first.
Desert is in logic for him, but we know that since we already saw what was in here from Nep's side, and therefore GFE will not find anything useful here.
Okay, there's that important cape for Nep. She doesn't know it's important yet, but she does need it. And there's a mushroom. So this could be a big time sink for GP. We know the second item is on Landmo. And I think he's likely to do it since it is the green pendant. Although, since that fire rod is out of logic, might make sense for him not to do it as well. And there's that shovel for Nep. As Nep heads into Hera, so we'll complete that coin collection with the Quake here. And it looks like Nep is going to set up the Harapod here. And also gets it on the first try. And GP's saving quitting. Not going to go on to land mount. And so we'll see where he decides to head next. And he's going to go turn that mushroom in. And just some money there, but he is going to pick up a few potions. SailorNep now doing Spiral Cave, going to pick up that Tempered Sword.
If you're going to go ahead and check off the Zora possibility of having the lamp or whatever, at least a lamp.
Alright, SailorNep done with Spiral, now heading up to open up the Turtle Rock entrance. And what does Zora got for us? Nothing. Alright, so what is GFE's next play here? And it is Eastern. So this is the play GFE needs to make. And he's going to be in go mode in just a couple minutes. So looks like GFE now has a pretty sizable advantage. Nep does have an extra crystal cleared, but I still put GFE with a pretty sizable lead here.
All right, so 56 minutes and just under 50 seconds, GFE has entered go mode.
Alright, there's that fire rod for SailorNep. And SailorNep checking out Spike Cave.
Okay, it looks like SailorNep might be heading to Skull Woods now. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think this is the Skull Woods play, and hopefully followed alongside with a bumper ledge check. GP gonna use that fire rod to light the room. Still having a little trouble with that Igor, but gets through it.
You gotta wonder though, depending on which item Nep finds first, she might be persuaded one way or the other to go check out Mire area / Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I think with having run straight into the back of School Woods, Bumper Ledge is just not an attractive check for her right now. GV with an excellent quick kill on Armos there. SailorNep takes out Mothula for crystal number 4.
GFE conceding and just using the easiest setup for fake flippers by walking alongside that hill zone there, and then walking to the right all the way to the bush, picking it up, and then walking straight up to the right.
And SailorNep actually is running out of School Woods, so this might be a Bumper Ledge check.
Yeah, this pretty much has to be a bumper ledge check. I don't see why she wouldn't do this before doing Smith Chain, if anything. Alright, so chat pointing out that GFE is coming into ice before pod. If you look at his arrow count, he's a little low. However, I don't see why he wouldn't have already just gotten an arrow upgrade prior to going into ice, since he does have the mirror. But that's GFE, not me.
Alright, so there is that King of Samara for SailorNep, and she's in go mode, so we got a race. We got a lot of crystals left to clear, so this is really just...
Hold on there a second. Nep needs to go get that flute.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Forgot about that. Shovel check.
Yeah,
So-
that's the big question. Is Nep going to check that shovel? Save and quit? Determine. Will they start Mountain or will they start Link's house? Mountain it is.
Alright, so it's not a huge deal. She's gonna do Turtle Rock. Which is not gonna lose much time here by full clearing it. And she can't do Mimic Cave anyway. The worst thing would be if she finds some kind of progression like a mirror. Well, I guess just the mirror would be the worst thing in here. Or mirror and flippers, that would be terrible. But if SailorNep does check that shovel spot soon after Turtle Rock, we still have a raise. Jiffy on to Cold Stare now. Half Magic and Fire Rod. This should be a pretty quick fight. GFE Getting down to a half heart there. A little bit sketchy of a fight, but gets it done.
Yeah, I thought GFE may have wanted to use Fire Rod there, but they were content to slash away. I think the chance of finding Mirror here is lower than a chance of finding Flippers because of the fact that Swamp is a pendant.
Yeah, we do know flippers have to be somewhere accessible outside GT, but they could be pretty much anywhere. We do see that Quake from Hera is required for Misery Mire. Yeah, the one good thing about finding the mirror for Nep would be that Smith chain becomes a lot more attractive. And that would let her route the shovel spot in pretty easily. As Jiffy heads into Misery Mire.
Yep, and there are those Flippers like I was thinking. Yeah, and as Zelda is pointing out in chat, yes, that does mean that the lamp is officially in the Smith chain, or hammer pegs if we haven't already seen that yet.
Jiffy into these very difficult Mire Dark Rooms. Let's see how he handles them. Alright, gets the block on the second try. And SailorNep making her way through the Dark Maze and Turtle Rock. Doing a pretty nice job there. And coming up to Laser Bridge. As Jiffy takes on the Eyeball Monster. Very nice fight there from GFE. And that is crystal number 5. SailorNep, meanwhile, finding magic powder on Laser Bridge.
So add that to the list of where Lamp can be.
Alright, GFE has to run over to Pod now. And SailorNep now coming up onto Trinex. And Nap with a pretty solid Trinex fight to claim her 5th crystal.
All right, Nep, what are you thinking? The answer is maybe Shovel Spot, maybe Ice Palace.
Or Pyramid Fairy?
Pyramid
No.
Fairy. Oh no, they have the flippers. They're going to turn the mushroom in?
Yeah. Meanwhile, GP already to the back of pod. Has already cleared out the front of pod, so just has to run straight back to Helmasaur. And SailorNep gonna pick up a potion as well.
Pulling out that hammer once again makes me think they're heading to the Dark World soon.
Yeah, I think Nep is gonna do Pyramid Fairy here. And so she's gonna fall further behind, unfortunately.
The only thing that would make this play nice is if Silver is turned up in here.
Yeah, that would be decent. And just sword spin and 2 quick slashes there from GFE. Takes down Helmasaur. Pretty nice fight. And GV just has to run up to Turtle Rock now.
Okay, Nep, what are you thinking now?
It looks like Nep is heading off to Ice Palace. Perfectly sensible play. Unfortunately, this is not going to work out for her, as I imagine she'll probably full clear. Alright, GV heading into Turtle Rock now. And Nep does find a blue cane, not really much help at this point. So, I think it's very likely Nep's just going to full clear, but you never know. She could surprise me and partial go mode it.
Yeah, a lot of players do not like Ice Palace, so I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up skipping a chest or two.
GFE now into Chain Chomps. It's a second small key. So when you're go moding Turtle Rock, the main thing you're looking for is that big key and 3 small keys. Once you've found all that, you can skip every other chest and just steal the Poke Key. So the ideal layout for Turtle Rock will have that big key and 3 small keys in the first 4 chests. Of course, that's pretty rare, but it happens from time to time.
So 2 items. Nep is, yep, I figured. Nep found 2 items, so she's going to go and kill Colster.
Alright, so Nep still does have a bit of a shot if she goes straight to check that shovel after Ice Palace. She'll still be behind, but GT routing could be the difference. Really nice cold stare fight from SailorNep. GFE is almost to the back of Turtle Rock. And there's that last small key, so GFE can actually skip Laser Bridge entirely here.
This should be the shovel play right here.
Yeah, okay, Nep has that shovel out. So this is going to be go mode for Nep. She still has to go activate the flute and clear out Mire. So she is going to be a couple minutes behind GFE here. But this is close enough that GT routing could be the difference.
Nice shovel dash into go mode.
Alright, so 117, SailorNep is in go mode. But GFE is taking on Trinex. And there it is. So with 7 crystals, GFE is going to make the trek over to Ganon's tower. So get your guesses in chat. Numbers 1 through 22. Where's that big key gonna be?
Do you have a favorite number you'd like to guess, Eddie?
I go with number 1.
Well, mine is a slight variant of that shape of the number 1. It's 7.
Alright. We will see. And yeah, chat brings up a good point. With no mirror, how is GFE going to go ahead and route this? Probably not Dark Magician, because you pretty much want the mirror for that route. He is going to start right. Number 1 is 20 rupees, number 2, 50 rupees. So no key, so he's forced to go left here. Number 3 is a small key on a torch. Number 4, some bombs. Number 5, some more bombs. Number 6, a small key. Number 7, hey, that mirror.
Now that is convenience we're talking about here.
Yeah, so that'll save GFE a little bit of time. Once he does find that big key, he can just mirror straight back to the start instead of having to death warp. SailorNep now into the basement of Mire. Gonna tackle these tricky dark rooms. And the firebar room, just a small key in there. And there's a big key in the fire snake room. And this is, again, I don't like to say it's over till it's over, but GFE has a pretty commanding lead now at this point.
Yeah, this is at least a 3 or 4 minute lead by the looks of it.
Alright, Mimics 1. It's always interesting to see people's strats in these Mimics rooms. There's so many different strats you can use. GFA getting through pretty nicely.
Doesn't need to worry about his arrow count. No need to go kill Ice Armor, so arrows are plenty.
Yeah. And SailorNep gonna use some cape strats there on Biddy.
Yeah, since GFE has half magic, he's opting to use a fire rod here, making that room much nicer to deal with.
Yeah, he's also got a couple of blue potions in his back pocket, so he can use all the magic he needs. Alright, SailorNep with that 7th crystal is heading off to Ganon's tower now.
GFE not quite getting that 1 cycle, but a 2 cycle will do just fine.
How many chests do you think he checks for the silvers? Any?
Good question. I think he'll at least check the mini hollow room. GFE might have to break out that blue potion, depending on his health situation, how he feels.
Yeah, he doesn't have that powder, which was on Laser Bridge.
Well, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, GFE not too concerned about the silvers. Might check these last couple chests. They're pretty quick. No, oh yeah, again check pre-mold arm. Get some bombs there.
In fact, he's doing the opposite of what I said.
Nice quick mold arm 2 kill. And gets the arrow of destiny in the post mold arm chest. Too bad it doesn't have silver, so we can't really use it. Alright, GB on to Aga 2 here. Gets 2 balls into Aga, but I think that only counts as 1 because they hit at the same time. Doesn't get any hits on that cycle. Alright, gets 1 there. Well, gotta be a little careful. Down to 1.5 hearts. Gets hit again. Okay, he has to drink a potion now. Not very nice patterns from Mega 2 here. Alright, finishes off with the double. GFE is on to Ganon. And SailorNep will be finding that big key here in a second. Immediately switching to that cape. Not a bad idea. With half magic, this makes getting that 1-on-1 pretty much free.
Ooh, misses the trident spin there. This is not gonna be a 1-on-1 anymore. I would say you jinxed him, but I don't know, man.
Alright, on to phase 3.
Okay, the thing that will make this difficult is the fact that GFE does not have the lamp. He will have to time his fire rod shot if he has to hope to get that torch glitch. There is a kind of visual cue for it, and involves watching the last row of tiles fall. Let's see if he can pull it off here.
No. And misses a few more fire rod shots. Okay. He does have another blue potion, so he should be fine, but he does have to be a bit careful with his magic.
Yeah, thankfully Tempered will make this a bit faster. If this is Master Sword, this would be an instant redo.
Yeah, you would not be able to finish this on Master Sword, I don't think.
He's up to at least 6 now.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't miss too many more shots, he'll be fine.
Think about two or three more shots here, and it's fine.
Oh, taking a little bit of a hit there. Gotta be careful not to take a fall here. And there it is, there's the last hit.
That was a bit nerve-wracking, but he nails it down.
And get your GGs in chat for GFE12, who takes Game 1 of this best of 3 series with an official SRL time of 1 hour 29 minutes and 58 seconds. Just barely nailing that sub 90. And as we wait to see if GFE will join us, we'll follow SailorNep, who is going to finish out the seed, even though she knows she's already lost. Nice mold on 2 kill. Gets that Arrow of Destiny, and we're joined by GFE. GG's.
Hey, G guys.
So, how did you find that seed? I thought it was overall a pretty friendly seed.
Overall, I will say this seed is a perfect example of why whenever you sequence break, you really need to keep up with it.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Because after I sequence broke hookshot and then found all that on the mountain, I knew that bow had to be in 4 places. Ganon had to be the front of desert. It couldn't be Landmo because the only fire source I had was Hooklock. And it could have been Zora and Eastern. So
Yeah.
obviously I checked Eastern last because I didn't want to risk a double dip. But yeah, that was good knowledge to have.
Yeah, SailorNep actually dipped Eastern before Pod, so I had that bow pretty early on.
Yeah, we were talking and he mentioned that, so in a way that may have made him miss out on what hurt him. He flew really late after the mountain. I figured I'd just check my shuttle on the way to my desert and Agana checks because mentally it's in the same direction.
Yeah, she also put off checking the bumper ledge for a while, so didn't have that info about the King of Samaria right away. But yeah, that flute was really the main difference. It could have, I think, still been somewhat close if Nep had checked that shovel before going to do Ice Palace and Pyramid Fairy and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, in her situation, I can fully understand skipping shovel till later. Since I was hunting bow, it made a lot of. I did discover something that was very rude about this seat, though.
Yeah.
Where your lamp was?
Where was that?
Lamp was in a mirrorless purple chest.
Oof.
Oh,
So mirror
Yeah.
GT purple chest was lamp.
Yeah, we had it narrowed down, I think, to just the smith chain and hammer pegs. I don't think there was anywhere else it could have been.
Yeah.
No sign of that second bow.
Apparently the lobby.
Oh, in Mire?
Those were apparently the lobby chest in Mire.
Okay. Yeah, you both obviously go moded Mire, so. SailorNep, meanwhile.
It feels good when you find the big key there.
Yeah. SailorNep, meanwhile, making quick work of Ganon. And
It's very.
GG's to SailorNep.
yeah, and she finishes with an official SRL time of 1:34.29, so just about 4.5 minutes difference. So fairly close race. And we'll wait a bit to see if SailorNep wants to join us for an interview.
I will say that at the very end, between my fight, which those patterns, and I didn't play them well either, and then missing the torch glitch on phase 4 of Ganon, I got very nervous because I know Nep is a very good player, and it was very reasonable that they could have routed just as well, and it could have been like down to the Ganon fight for all I knew. So missing that torch glitch was pretty rough.
Yeah, speaking of, we are now joined by SailorNep. GG's.
Thanks. That seed was so railroady, I feel like, which is weird because it wasn't an agate seed.
Yeah, that was it was a weird seed. Definitely the seed of sequence breaks. GFE getting that all the goodies out of pod before having the bow, and neither of you ever finding the lamp.
Yeah, that lamp we were discussing, it had to be on the smith chain somewhere, right?
Yep, it was on purple chest.
Purple chest. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen.
It was.
So, Nep, you put off that bumper ledge check for a while, but when you found it, you went straight to Turtle Rock, which seemed like a sensible play. And then after that, you went to Ice Palace and sort of semi-go moded it. Was that your plan the whole time, to semi-go mode Ice Palace?
Yeah, I figured at this point, if it's on the shovel or even maybe the smith chain or something, I could very well be way behind. So I'm just gonna go for this. And if Ice Palace panned out, I was gonna dig up with the shovel real quick. And if that wasn't it, then I was going to run to Desert Palace. And if it was just over in the right side of Ice Palace, well, shrug. I'm willing to take those kinds of chances.
Yeah, so I would say, I think GFE kind of had the lead a bit for most of the seed. But you were never far behind at any point. Kind of started with GFE going to check Sahasrara before doing South Shore. So I had the Dark World access a bit earlier. And then, just checking that shovel spot earlier than you did was kind of the biggest difference, really.
Yeah, I would say that was probably the biggest deal, and then just some of the things that came as a result of that, like me going back and checking the Pyramid Fairy, turning in the mushroom, just those little things that tick up the time adds. Even the fact that I hadn't checked Bumper Ledge on the first trip to the Village of Outcast area, that was kind of an issue for me because of the fact that after killing Mothula, I ended up running back through the dungeon, so that time does add up.
Yeah, it was lucky you did that, though, because we were worried you were going to just completely isolate that check.
Yeah. I was running so low on stuff at that point that I would not have felt good about skipping that.
Yeah.
One thing that I could have seen some runners missing in this seed was Quake. There's probably some people who wouldn't have gone over to Hera Although having the book, you did want to check either tablet, so it was reasonable, and it was in the first check in Hera, but I could see some skipping it, and that would have been rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, not having the mirror made this seed a lot more tedious and annoying for sure.
Yeah, there were definitely a
time-
few times.
Oh,
Sorry.
go
They were just saying there were very few times where I was thinking, I sure hope the mirror hasn't been here making everything routing much easier. But then it just never turned up until the very end, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, and I think me and you both kind of had the same thought in GT. Normally, I do Dark Magician strats. The only reason I started right side was because if there was a key there, I was going to route all the way to Ice Armos on the right, and then come back up on the left side, because it's a good route when you're mirrorless. But since there was no key, I went left and then found that mirror in the Stalfos room. And I thought about mirroring and doing my normal Dark Magician, but chose against it, thank goodness.
Yeah. It was definitely interesting to see how players routed GT there. But yeah, so looks like you guys have your game 2 scheduled for tomorrow at the same time.
Yep.
That is correct.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on what, if any, mode changes you'll be choosing, or do you want to keep that a secret for now?
Standard form response. We're doing standard instead of open.
All right. Any thoughts on why you like standard?
I don't have to think about when to route and escape. Let the game decide for me.
I completely approve of that, not having to worry about it.
Yeah.
Plus, I actually went ahead and did bomb escape in this seed anyway.
Yeah, that was pretty nicely done. Sorry. I thought you were going to say something. Before we start to wrap things up here, sorry, do you guys have any final thoughts on the seed or the tournament?
Well, I'm having a lot of fun here, that's for sure, and I'm glad that we were able to put on a good fun race. I'm kind of wondering if I'd checked that flute spot earlier, if it would have been a lot closer, how close that might have been, pushing for maybe even a tie.
Yeah. It was definitely exciting race.
Yeah. Checked that sooner, it would have been very, very close, especially with the rough last 2 boss fights I had. I will, real quick, just give a shout out to everybody on the crew. Really appreciate you, Edium and Relkin, for the commentary. I look forward to seeing what y'all had to say about this seed. Thanks to Draco Falcone for the tracking on this one, and to all the Speed Gaming crew. It's always awesome to see all these matches put on in such a professional manner. It's a lot of fun for the community. So thank you guys.
Yeah, and certainly don't forget to follow our runners as well, GFE_12 and SailorNep. They're both really great runners, a lot of fun to watch, and just great people. So if you're looking for more rando action tonight, we got quite a few matches. And by that, I mean we have 3 matches. Just starting about 15 minutes ago is D-Demolisher 1 versus Zyrak, and that's over on ALTTP Randomizer. A little bit later at 10:20 Eastern is 1UP40 versus Bwayne. That'll be on Speed Gaming 4. And just about the same time at 10:30 Eastern is going to be Chelsea X Lin versus Emo Saru. And that'll be on this channel, Main Speed Gaming. So stay tuned. A lot of great matches coming up. And of course, there'll be a lot of matches all day long tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we still have most groups in this tournament already have now done their first round matches. And And then we're pretty much going forward with the second round matches, the first round losers and the second round winners. And we'll be looking to close out this group stage fairly soon, probably in the next week or so.
Yeah. But with that, I don't really have anything else to say. Do you, Relkin?
No, just thank you for the commentary opportunity, Speed Gaming, and thank you, Eddie M, for being a co-commentator, and thank you, Tracker, Draco Falcon.
Yeah. Where did I say this run is going right now? ALTTP Randomizer. So if you check the schedule, there's a post right there. You can click on the schedule, speedgaming.org/ALTTPR, and that'll have a link to that channel. So if you want to catch all the action, make sure you follow all of our channels, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, as well as ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 5. Lots of action going on over the next couple of months, but especially this week when we're still in the group stages. We still got over 100 players left in this tournament right now, so tons and tons of matches. But with that, I think we're going to wrap up here. So thanks everyone for tuning in. One last shout out to our tracker, Draco Falcone. And I'll throw it over to you, Relkin, for the final words.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next race. Good night, everyone.